Morning students. Yes, the last chapter we studied about the topic that was linguistic understanding diversity. We studied about the cultural diversity, different type of culture, and before that we studied about the linguistic diversity as well as the religious diversity and geographic diversity. Linguistic diversity was related to the languages, different types of languages, dialects. Dialects means a language that is spoken in a small area. Different languages are spoken in India. In religious diversity, we studied about different religions that is practiced in India. India is the birthplace of many religions like Jainism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism. And next, we study about the geographical diversity. That was geographical regions. Different geographical regions are present in India. Not only a single same type of terrain is found or same type of geographical feature is found in India. There are different geographical features like mountains, plains, deserts, coastal areas. Now today we study about the cultural diversity. The cultural diversity, environment plays a very great role on the cultural diversity of India. In India we celebrate different festivals. Many festivals are celebrated. Many customs are there. Many dance forms are there. For example, according to the environment, like if you see in Kerala, there are backwaters. So they have boat race. Boat race is not played everywhere. So according to the environment, there are different customs, festivals, and dance form. Like dance form, you will find Kathakali in Kerala, Kathak in North India in Uttar Pradesh, Kuchipudi dance like Bharatanatyam in Tamil Nadu. So different dance forms are there in India, and this dance form of two types: classical as well as folk dance. Now there are also different types of festivals that are celebrated in India. Now there are two types of festivals. One is religious festival and the other is harvest festivals. Religious festivals are those festivals that is related to the religion, like Deepavali, like Christmas, like Eid. These all are religious festivals because they are related to religion. Harvest festivals. Harvest festival, they are different in different region. Harvest festival matlab when the harvest, you know that different agriculture is practiced in different parts of India, and when they are cut down, when they are taken out, or you can say harvesting time, when the harvesting time, at that time they celebrate this festival. There are different festivals like Pongal in Tamil Nadu. They have different names and their timing may be different. Example like Makar Sankranti in Punjab and Bihu in Assam, Pongal in Tamil Nadu, and what we can say Onam in Kerala. These all are harvest festival. No, you know the difference between a harvest festival and religious festival. Now let's study about the economic diversity. The economic activities of an area are influenced by area geographical conditions. Economic activities. Now, according to the geographical areas, what type of conditions are there? Whether it is near the coast, whether it is a mountainous region, whether it is a plains. All activities depend upon the geographical features. I told you India's geographical features are different. Somewhere you will find deserts, somewhere you will find plains, somewhere you will find mountains, somewhere you will find coastal areas, somewhere near the coast, that you know as coastal areas. So all these activities they depend upon the geographical regions. For example, now the main occupation of the people of the North India is agriculture. Mostly most of India, the main occupation is agriculture. But agriculture is the main occupation in fertile land, Indo-Gangetic plain. Indo-Gangetic plain is the plain, the area from where the river Ganga flows. That is known as Indo-Gangetic plains, or you can also call them northern plains like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, parts of Haryana, These all are part of Indo-Gangetic plain. Now it is a fertile plain. Why it is a fertile plain? Because river Ganga passes through this area. That's why the land is very fertile and it is very useful for the agriculture. So agriculture is the main occupation in the area near the river Ganga, or you can call as Indo-Gangetic plain, because it is very fertile. Now, like places like Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, South India, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, we have a lot of rainfall. That is not good for wheat and other products, but that is very good for rice. So rice is their main agriculture that is done there. Or you can say northeast also, like West Bengal or northeastern states like Nagaland, Sikkim, or Arunachal Pradesh, because there is heavy rainfall, and heavy rainfall is very suitable for rice. So rice is the main occupation in the regions where there is heavy rainfall. For people living coastal areas, the area near the coast means near the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. So the people living near the coastal areas, like the states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal, and this area, their main occupation is fishing, because they are near the sea area. So the main occupation is fishing. Now the people, we studied about the coastal areas, we studied about the plain area. The people living in mountain areas, because their agriculture is very less, because it's not suitable, the land is not suitable, as well as the climate is not suitable for agriculture. So their main occupation is sheep rearing, because sheep can survive at a very low temperature also, because I know that in mountain areas the temperature is very low and it's extremely cold during the winters. So in mountain areas, the main occupation, that is sheep rearing, that is their main livelihood. In cold regions like Ladakh, Jammu Kashmir, or you can say some parts of Himachal Pradesh, where agriculture is very less, because as you know that the land is not suitable, the climate is not suitable for agriculture, because the most of the part during winter season it is mostly covered with snow, and we know that when it is covered with snow it is not suitable for agriculture. So sheep rearing, as well as one more animal is there, yak. You must have seen in TV also, yak, like a bison that lives in hilly areas only. That is the main occupation there, sheep rearing. And the wool they get from sheep, they sell it, and that is their main economic activity. Very rare sheep from whose wool they get, that is the Pashmina wool. Pashmina wool, it is one of the most costliest wool in the world, and it is very expensive. So that is the main occupation there, that is sheep rearing, or you can say yak rearing. In eastern and southern Rajasthan, regarding our Rajasthan, in eastern and southern Rajasthan, the main agriculture, the main crops that are grown here is jawar, bajra, oil seeds, maize and wheat. But when you go to western Rajasthan, it is a desert area. Like for example, Jaisalmer, Bardmer, Bikaner side, you will find very less vegetation, because it is a desert area. They are camel rearing, because we all know that camel is known as the sheep of the desert. The camel rearing is done there, and agriculture is very less there, because actually the rainfall is also not very less, and it's a desert area, and they get a very less rainfall, and so that's why agriculture is not there. Now we study about the unity in diversity, the main heading of our this chapter, unity is diversity. So India is a vast country. It is the 7th largest country in the world. In our country, there are many religions. People are practicing many religions. People are practicing many customs. People are belong from different castes, different languages are spoken here, different dresses are wear in here, different languages, different dress, different food habits, all are there in India. But still, as an united, we all are Indians. First of all, we all are Indians. It may be there that we are having different habits, different food habits, different dressing senses, or you can say different languages we are speaking, different religion we are belonging, but still we all are Indian. And that is known as unity in diversity. Because we may be practicing different things, but we all are still living together harmoniously, peacefully in India. That's why it is known as unity in diversity. And this phrase was given by who? Earlier in the chapter I have told you, it was given by our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And regarding it, we will give it next video where I will tell detail about the unity in diversity. Okay, go through this lesson. If you have not bought books, please buy it. And if you have any problem, you can ask me. Whenever I post a video, first of all listen to it and then go through your book also. Either you go, first of all go to your book and then listen to the video. Then it will be very helpful for you. And I am telling you, if you have any problem, you can ask me. Okay, thank you.